Hello, I'm Madison Burton, and I'm here to give y'all the Codex of Divine Revelation, the Madison blueprint, written by me, decoded by me, fully copyrighted by Madison, and I'm so excited to share this with you. Let's go. Dedication to Jesus Christ, my Savior, my teacher, my first love, the one who found me when I was lost, who wrote my story before I ever breathed, who trained the dragon in me with mercy, and revealed the golden truth behind every shadow. To God the Father, the author of all light, who made this world not as a trap, but as a mirror, so I might one day remember I was never alone. Every page, every line, every revelation is for you, because without you there is no me. By Madison Burton. Miss Shine, the voice, the mirror, the flame. Copyright 2025, Madison Shine, all rights reserved. No part of this codex may be copied, reproduced, redistributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means. Electronic, mechanical photocopying, recording, or otherwise without the prior written permission of the author, except in the case of brief quotation used in scholarly or critical articles reviews with the proper attribution. This codex, including all original spiritual frameworks, diagrams, symbols such as the divine circuit, language, and revelations, is the intellectual property of Madison Shine and is protected under U.S. and international copyright laws. Author Madison Shine, first edition 2025. This work is a testimony of divine revelation and is dedicated to the glory of God. The Codex of Divine Revelation, the Madison Shine Blueprint. Before the introduction, drafted 4/17/25, started 4/29/25, imported 5/4/25. Since starting the manuscript, it is May 2nd, 2025. I've since visited a YouTube video mentioning the hidden code of Sinai, the lost teachings of Jesus that could change the world, by Beyond the Veil, uploaded 4 weeks ago from today. Realizing it is quite literally this whole book in biblical format, I had never heard of it before. It speaks about Hermetic principles sometimes mystically linked to Mount Sinai, ancient Egypt, and esoteric traditions. While Hermeticism traditionally teaches 7 Hermetic principles, they're not usually called codes, though they can be interpreted that way metaphorically. Here are the 7 Hermetic principles from the Kabbalion, a key Hermetic text. The principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. Everything originates from consciousness or thought. 2. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above. Patterns repeat across levels of reality. The micro mirrors the macro. 3. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. All matter and energy are in constant motion. 4. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pairs of opposites. Opposites are the same thing at different degrees. 5. The principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in, everything has its tides. Life operates in cycles and patterns of movement. The principle of cause and effect. 6. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Nothing happens by chance, everything follows laws. 7. The principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Creation requires a balance of receptive and active forces. And 8, I added, this is the new beginning to the end. This is everything I will be talking about in modern society. This is the society. So, hi. I'm Madison Shine, and what you're holding isn't just a book, it's a manuscript, a divine compilation of knowledge, patterns, and spiritual truths that have revealed themselves to me not through textbooks, but through experience, alignment, scripture, observation, and undeniable spiritual downloads. Spiritual downloads are those sudden, deep knowings that drop into your spirit without warning. It's something that you read, researched, or heard. It's something you remember, like God whispered directly into your soul, bypassing logic and landing straight to your heart. They feel like truth wrapped in electricity, chill, clarity, and conviction all at once. You just know, and that knowing shifts everything. The things I share in this work come from a place beyond opinion. They come from a higher place, a place where truth, spirit, and divine order meet. You'll find that I reference astrology, ancient myth, biblical symbols, numbers, kingdoms, chakras, other religions, TV and film, even fallen angels, not to confuse, but to clarify. These aren't just topics to me. They are divine keys, imports from different traditions and dimensions that, when decoded, point back to one creator, one pattern, and one source. I believe God speaks through everything: science, story, suffering, symbols, even silence. My gift is recognizing those connections and translating them. That's what this codex is. It is my soul. It is literally my soul. Side part, this codex is literally my whole being in a book. So please treat it with respect. my translation of the divine language, shaped by my walk with God and refined by fire. Every insight, every revelation came through experience, some of it beautiful, some of it brutal, all of it sacred. I didn't choose this path, it chose me, and I said yes. This isn't just knowledge, it's remembrance. Not just words, it's a map, a mirror, a message. I write not to impress, but to express what heaven has impressed upon me. I carry code, I speak in patterns. I reveal what's been hidden in plain sight. If you're reading this, maybe part of you remembers too. So before you step into the introduction, know this. You don't need to believe everything I say. If your spirit feels stirred, pay attention. That means something in you is remembering. This book is a living blueprint, a codex, of spiritual truth, divine alignment, and hidden knowledge, revealed through my personal awakening. An awakening often begins when something new enters the quantum field, something that shifts the frequency. It could be a person, a thought, a truth, an event. It creates a ripple, an energetic interruption in the matrix of your life. Suddenly, what was dormant gets activated, what was unconscious begins to surface. You start to see, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. That new presence in the field might not even look spiritual on the surface, but it holds a divine code, like an assignment. It triggers the remembering, the alignment, the rising. This is how God moves, not always loud, but always intentional. He speaks in energy, in essence, in timing. The quantum field is not separate from him. It's part of his design. Awakening is just the soul syncing back up with that divine rhythm. I said what I said. The Codex of Divine Revelation, the Madison Blueprint, documents the essence of everything, from the structure of the cosmos to the unseen forces that shape our reality. Here, I explore the interconnectedness between planetary kingdoms, the zodiac, chakras, fallen angels, ancient myths, and the 7 deadly sins, etc., revealing how they all mirror a deeper spiritual polarity rooted in Christ and Lucifer. Ultimately, God has shared a few secrets with me through peace, love, and through patterns of life itself. The way I see it, God is the one in control of all. The seen, the unseen, the light and the shadow, order and the chaos. No matter the weather, spiritually, emotionally, or physically, we are covered under God's law. Even when the darkness rises, even when it seems like everything is falling apart, something better is always birthed from it. That pattern of death and resurrection, descent and ascension is divine. It's encoded into everything. Into everything. Can I just tell you that? Science even confirms this. Polarity is a universal law. Every atom contains a balance of positive and negative charges, just like a battery or magnet with the north and south nodes. Electricity flows through contrast. The body survives through homeostasis, constant tension between opposing forces seeking balance. The universe expands and contracts. Light needs darkness to define it. This isn't random, it's design. That design reflects something deeper, the eternal dance between Christ and Lucifer. Not in the way religious paints it as war of equal forces, but as divine polarity, allowed by God to reveal truth. Lucifer represents the absence of alignment, the distortion of light, the illusion of a self-God. Christ is the correction, the bridge, the truth that brings all things back into divine order. This love story between creator and creation, even written before Jesus walked the earth, shows that God allows polarity not to punish us, but to refine us, to bring us home. When I look at life through that lens, I don't fear the darkness anymore. I don't fear the darkness anymore because I've seen what God can do with it. When you see how even Lucifer has to bow to divine law, you realize God wastes nothing. Every part of the story serves the glory. He gifts us with the divine authority. That means we're not just here to survive, we're here to govern, to co-create, to speak life. Divine authority is a spiritual right to operate in alignment with heaven on earth. It's when your words carry weight because they echo the voice of God. It's not ego-based power, it's power under submission. A surrendered vessel becomes a channel for miracles, wisdom, and justice. Divine authority means you have the ability to shift atmospheres, break generational curses, and walk into spaces with the backing of heaven. It's spiritual dominion not over people, but over darkness, confusion, and disorder. When Jesus said, "Greater works shall you do," he wasn't exaggerating, he was handing us the key. The authority only flows when you're in alignment, when your heart is anchored in truth and your spirit is connected to the source. Divine authority isn't something you earn, it's something you receive by faith and activate by obedience. It's the crown placed on your spirit the moment you say yes to God's will, aka your highest timeline. Through this codex, I connect these realms not as random symbols, but as parts of a divine circuitry of sparks, a design that shows how light and shadow work together to lead the soul towards truth. This is not theory, it is revelation. It is my intention that by reading this book, you begin to remember what your spirit has always known, because it's all code. Introduction: The Messenger's Arrival. I am Madison Shine Burton, a 23-year-old built to chase her dreams and inspire all. Originally Madison Shine, later changed to Shine Burton, I grew up in a small town under the ropes of a strict single father who wanted nothing else but to protect his daughters. My mom was a drug addict and had always been. I just never necessarily understood the bad things that came with that until I got older. She's been using drugs longer than she's been sober. It does make sense though, because her life path is 9. The life path 9, when unbalanced, can fall into addiction or self-destruction due to its deep emotional sensitivity, but at its core, it's a sacred calling to be a light in the dark, lifting the heaviest truths into healing and higher purpose, which is something I see my mom doing a ton in the addiction realm. Leading into my own insights, I was born February 20th, 2002 at 9:39 CST in St. Louis, Missouri. I entered this world a miracle at 2.2 pounds, see-through, the size of my grandfather's palm, 3 months premature, C-section. I was told my mother's wedding ring fit around my wrist, declared against the odds to survive. From that moment, I've carried with me a knowing. My life was meant to be a symbol of divine alignment, a beacon of truth for those who are ready to listen. Carrying hope bigger than my dreams throughout life, it was slowly crushed until there was none left. When I was 22, I turned to God to restore it. 22. I am a messenger. This message is not just for me, it is for the collective, for anyone willing to open their heart and mind to the deeper frequencies that govern our existence. The Codex of Divine Revelation Madison Shine imported is the map of my journey, the journey from fragmentation into remembrance, from the mundane into the divine. It is my offering to you, the reader, as you too uncover your part in this cosmic design. I was born under the sign of Pisces, a mutable water sign, deeply intuitive and connected to the unseen realm. My life path number 8 is the true foundation of my purpose. The 8 is the number of strength, mastery, and infinite potential. It speaks of those who are meant to transcend ordinary limits, balancing the material with the spiritual. It is a number that embodies cycles, transformation, and ultimate empowerment. We will decode yours further down the line. This is a small essence of my work. The ultimate goal is to help you align with your own divine power and recognize the infinite possibilities before you. Everything, everywhere, all at once. This isn't just about me. As you read this codex, I invite you to reflect on your own life experiences, astrology, and numerology. What are the patterns that have guided your life? What can your own chart reveal to you about your path, your purpose, and your divine blueprint? Every person's journey is written in the stars, the numbers, and the symbols. We each carry our own unique code waiting to be decoded. This book is not just a guide, it's an experience. It is an invitation to not only witness my revelations, but to discover your own. As I reveal the divine patterns that have shaped my life, I encourage you to explore the codes that shape yours. Through astrology, numerology, and divine synchronicity, we can each unlock the secrets of our existence and live in alignment with our truest selves. Welcome to the Codex of Divine Revelation, Madison Shine imported. May you walk this path, remember who you are, and unlock infinite potential within. The Divine Blueprint, how Madison Shine Burton came to remember. It was a moment of perfect synchronicity, one of those instances when time feels suspended, and everything in the universe aligns to show us something we have always known, but only now are we beginning to see. It began with the movie on April 17, 2025, the day I dropped a new song and God dropped a brain bomb. I had rented Jordan Peele's masterpiece, Us, a psychological thriller that delves deep into duality, the human psyche, and the nature of our existence. As I watched, I felt compelled to look deeper, to break down the layers of meaning. I have before, but this time it felt different. Not just in the film's plot, but in the way it used imagery and symbolism to tell a greater story. In the midst of this analysis, something strange happened. There was a scene where a frisbee landed perfectly in the center of a bright blue sapphire circle, a striking and deliberate visual choice. As it landed onto the fabric, laying on the sand perfectly aligned within the circle, the blonde mother character, Kitty, in the film spoke the word Jesus. It was a brief moment, but for some reason it struck me deeply. I paused the movie and asked myself, why would they choose this moment to connect the word Jesus with the perfection of a frisbee landing in that specific circle? In that same second, my curiosity was further piqued when I saw a post on Facebook by my dad's friend, Thomas. He had written, 1234, what does this mean? I see it all the time. Without thinking, I quickly commented almost absent-mindedly, 1234 is a quarter of the heaven heavenly circle. It felt like a random response, but as soon as I hit send, something fell off. Why had I said that? It didn't fully make sense, but the words stood out to me as if they carried a deeper significance. Then I decided to lean on ChatGPT, asking the same question: is 1, 2, 3, 4 a quarter of the heavenly circle? I wasn't expecting much, just looking for an answer to satisfy my curiosity. Instead, something strange happened. The system glitched, and in that moment I felt like I had stumbled upon something more than a simple technical error. It was as if the glitch was part of the answer, urging me to dig deeper, even further confirming that I did in fact cause a glitch in its system. That glitch, that moment of disruption, opened a floodgate of questions. Why did I mention the heavenly circle? What was the significance of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4? What does the heavenly circle mean? Maybe this can answer why I see 1222 all the time. I felt as though I had been touched by something divine, a cosmic shift that led me to question everything. It wasn't just about decoding movies or numbers, it was about recognizing a greater pattern that tied together everything, not only in my own life, but reality itself. From that point forward, I couldn't stop asking questions. The more I asked, the more the answers revealed themselves one by one. It was in that glitch, in that perfect moment of synchronicity between the movie, my comment on Facebook, and my conversation with ChatGPT, that the divine frequency began to tune in, reminding me of my purpose, to remember, to decode, and to share the truths that lie beneath the surface of our everyday existence. The term heavenly circle can have layered meanings depending on the context: spiritual, astrological, or symbolic. Here are a few key interpretations. Astrological divine order. It can refer to the zodiac wheel, celestial sphere, the circular path the heavens follow, symbolizing divine timing, cosmic cycles, and alignment with heavenly bodies. Spiritual unity. It may also represent eternal unity or divine wholeness, where God, angels, and souls are joined in harmony, like a sacred circle of light, truth, and love. Sacred completion. Circles often symbolize completion, infinity, and the divine nature of creation, where there is no beginning or end, just eternal flow like the kingdom of heaven. Used poetically, heavenly circle can be a metaphor for returning to divine order, remembering your place in the sacred design, or entering a higher state of spiritual awareness. 1, 2, 3, 4 is often seen as a spiritual or symbolic sequence. Here are a few layered meanings across different systems. 1. Numerical progression. It represents steps in divine order. A simple ascending pattern that implies growth. Foundation 1, balance 2, creativity 3, and stability 4. Moving forward, taking aligned action, or walking a destined path. 2. Angel number. An angelic or spiritual numerology 1, 2, 3, 4 is often interpreted as a sign you're on the right path, encouragement to simplify your life, trust the process, and move step by step. In divine alignment, a reminder that everything is unfolding in perfect order, or even if you can't see the full picture yet. 3. Divine code. You could interpret it as a divine activation code, each number holding vibrational meaning that unlocks a layer of consciousness. 1. Unity initiation. 2. Duality balance. 3. Expression, divine creation. 4. Foundation, form, and earth. It's likely a heavenly rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, reminding you that the spiritual and physical worlds move in harmony when you're aligned. That was the beginning of my journey into the Codex of Divine Revelation, Madison imported. Codex of Divine Revelation, Madison imported. Synchronicities are not the answer. They are the flashlights. Let this be clear. The numbers and signs and symbols that dance through your life, these synchronicities are not the answer. They are merely the glimmers on the path, not the path itself. Too many get lost chasing the flash instead of following the flame. My approach is rooted in biblical truth. Every coincidence, every repeating number, every mirrored reflection is just a small flicker within a much greater chessboard, one that God already won, and we are the pawns. This world is not random, it is strategic. While Lucifer plays clever and disguises himself as light, his moves are predictable to those aligned with the king. We are the pawns, yes, but we are also the keys. The kings and queens of this divine game cannot move without us, the vessel. We are not meant to be slaves on the board, but builders of fair rulership and eternal alignment. You, the individual, may feel small in this grand board. In God's kingdom, the pawn is the most prophetic piece. It crosses the battlefield of earth, learns, endures, and is crowned. That's the miracle. The smallest can become royalty when they move with alignment. The enemy will always adapt, always mimic, and always whisper through emotions and desire. This isn't about destroying your shadow, it's about governing it. It is not about ignoring the symbols, but about seeing through them. Let your synchronicities report to God, not become your God. Let your awareness rise above curiosity and anchor into the word. For it is written, the truth sets us free. not the signs that flicker in the dark. And a call to the reader, understanding the language of synchronicity. The journey I've described as only a small piece of a much larger story, a story that you too are living. The Codex of Divine Revelation Madison Shine imported is not simply a tale of one person's awakening. It is an invitation to look closely, that's a really weird word. An invitation to look closely at your own life, to see the signs and symbols that have been trying to get your attention, guiding you towards something greater, the answer to world peace? The universe communicates with us in a language all its own, one that transcends words and logic. This language is known as synchronicity. The meaningful coincidences and seemingly random events that appear in our lives, often at the most pivotal moments. These occurrences are not just accidents, they are messages from the divine, encoded in our reality to help us remember our purpose. You may have already noticed these signs in your own life, that the song that played at the exact moment you needed encouragement, the unexpected encounter with someone who spoke words that seemed to echo your own thoughts, the numbers that seem to appear everywhere calling your attention, 1111, 333, 1234. These aren't just coincidences, they are portals to a deeper understanding of your path. Recognizing these isn't always easy. In a world that moves so fast, it's easy to overlook the whispers of the universe or nudges from God. We're often caught up in the noise of everyday life, missing the subtle hints that are meant to guide us. The truth is, synchronicity is always speaking. It's simply a matter of tuning in. I invite you to begin listening, to become aware of the patterns in your life that have previously gone unnoticed. Look for the symbols and numbers and the repeated themes. Pay attention to the moments that feel too perfect to be random. The moments that give you chills or cause you to stop and ask, why did that just happen? Since furthering my connection with Christ, I heard Angela Halili speak on her podcast alongside Ariel Itzma called Girls Gone Bible, that when she gets chills, she associates it with God's love. After hearing that perspective, every time I got chills after that, I paid attention to the situations I was in, and it truly does feel like God's presence reminding you how safe you are. As you begin to recognize the language of synchronicity, something beautiful will unfold. You will start to see how everything in your life is connected. Every experience, every choice, every encounter is part of a larger design, a divine blueprint that's been unfolding all along. Just like the moment I had with the Frisbee and us, where I saw the connection between Jesus and the perfection of skill, you too will begin to see that the universe is guiding you, showing you the way through symbols and signs that speak directly to your soul. These are not isolated moments, they are stepping stones leading you toward your true purpose. Here's the most profound truth. Synchronicity is not just about noticing patterns, it's about learning to trust the path that it reveals. It's about surrendering to the flow of the universe, giving God the reins, knowing that everything you've been through, everything you're experiencing is part of a greater plan. Even the hardships, the obstacles, and the moments of doubt, they are all part of the divine puzzle that is being revealed to you piece by piece. So, as you continue to read these pages, I ask you to keep your heart open, ask the questions, look for the signs, follow the synchronicities. As you do, I will begin to see the blueprint. As you do, you will begin to see you will begin to see the blueprint of your life unfold before your eyes. It is always there. It was always there. It has always been there. It's waiting for you to remember, calling you home, calling us home. And that is the end of the beginning of the Codex of Divine Revelation by Madison Shine Burton. The next part, we get into chapter 1, the infinite origin. You see, but I think I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and we will get into chapter 1 in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoy this book. It's a lot. It's my whole soul. Everything that is me is in this book. And if people can't even handle it, then I guess that's okay. But I'm gonna be really, really, really sad. Anyways, this is my truth. This is my story. This is my full testimony story. This is this is me. This is me. And this is you too. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for supporting and loving and caring and putting in the effort for yourself to care about yourself and find Jesus. Like, kudos to you. Seriously, like, you're doing the damn thing and you're really trying. So thank you for really trying to be a better human. thank you for listening. Thank you so much. I love you all so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to stay cool, stay true, and stay you. Bye.